Alright everyone, and welcome back to Vettel Career. In the previous race it was the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, and it was a 4th place finish for Vettel after what was a crazy race really, and he changed quite a bit in the championship, in the drivers at least, and Fernando Alonso took the lead of the championship then with what I believe was his second win of the season then, and Michael Schumacher down to second then after not a good race for him, and Vettel and Raikkonen still just about in it, so is Barrichello there as well. And heading to the Spanish Grand Prix then today, and it's Fernando Alonso's home race and he goes over the championship lead, so well, it'll be interesting to see how things play out then over the weekend. But in Q1 then, and Vettel coming to the end of his first run here then, and running quite wide in fact, and he seems to be struggling with the car quite a lot here in Spain, and across the line comes in and it's a 1:17.5, which isn't a great time. He's going to try and get another one in, but then the BMW in front of him just slams on its brakes, and Vettel just slammed into the back of him, and that really compromised his session quite a lot. And skimming to near the end of the session, I can see Vettel fighting the car a lot, under braking for that corner, and it really was a very difficult session for him. And coming around the final 2 corners then, nice and flat out right-handers here, and unfortunately the Red Bull, you'd think would have good aero, but understeering like mad out the final corner. Across the lane comes in, it's only a 17.5, which is actually an identical time to the one he set before. But out of the final corner then, I think this is going to be the last decent chance he's going to have at a time here. Across the lane comes in, he will have a time for one more, but he only improves to a 17.1, which isn't good enough for him to get through into Q2 at this stage. He needs a 16.8, and you can see that his last time just wasn't good enough there, and only a 17.9, so for some reason it just didn't come together for Vettel in qualifying, and he's only 18th on the grid then, behind both the Toro Rossos. And well, to think he actually got through to Q2 in that car last season, and it's really a shocking result there. We go to the grid then. Fernando Alonso took pole, and I think that's his 4th pole in 6 races now, with Jenson Button there second in what was a strong qualifying for Honda then, with Barrichello up there in 4th as well. Schumacher there, Michael is in 3rd place, with Ralf Schumacher not far behind him 5th there. Good qualifying for the 2 Williams there in 6th and 9th, and McLaren's only on row 4 then, Raikkonen onto it. Looking further down we see the 2 BMWs on row 6, and Fisichella and Massa there having a dismal qualifying once again there, and Liuzzi having a pretty good one there in 15th, and just a miserable day all around really for Red Bull, with clean 14th, and then Vettel only 18th. And it's the Midlands and the Super Goes that round out the grid. So here we are then on the grid, and it's going to be a long drive today for Vettel, but who knows, maybe he can salvage some points today. We've got the lights coming on now. And away they go then in Catalunya. And Vettel, well, he needs a good start. It looks like he's got a fairly decent one here. He's passed Scott Speed already, and also passed a Ferrari as well as Felipe Massa. He's alongside Tony Liuzzi. It looks like he's passed him as well. Already looking at his teammate here, who qualified 4th place ahead of him. He's looking at the inside, but he brakes quite cautiously, and Liuzzi comes back running on the outside. So it's not really been the start he would have wanted here. And he tries to take a wide line through turn 3 and try and gain some places, but Massa's come back through now then. So it really isn't what Vettel would have planned at all. We're heading up towards turn 4 now then. He's going to try that outside line once again. It seems to work a little bit better this time. He's passed Massa. No, he isn't, because the Ferrari fights back then. And now he's done at the inside and trying to get past Massa, who's run wide, and so is Renault and McLaren as well then. That's Montoya and Fisichella, who have both lost a lot of ground there. Meanwhile, Vettel's going around the outside of Liuzzi into turn 6, and that's a decent move there. Up into 13th place. Now he's going side by side with Christian Klien. We haven't really seen the 2 Red Bulls go side by side yet this season, but they've done it there, and Vettel up into 12th place then. So plenty of action on that first lap. You see Montoya, Fisichella and Massa all going wide there. So Renault's, McLaren's and Ferrari's all near the back then. And it's going to be an interesting race. We see that move again from Vettel on the Liuzzi there. Very impressive move. And then the 2 Red Bulls side by side. As I say, we haven't really seen it this season, but Klien's certainly putting up a fight there after comfortably beating Vettel in qualifying then. So get to the end of the first lap then, we're going to cross the line and start lap 2, and it's 12th place then, so 6th place is game for Vettel at this stage, but Christian Klien here is fighting back in his Red Bull. He's been beaten by Vettel all season, but he's looking at the inside into turn 1, he's got the move done, and how about that then, we haven't really seen it so far this season, but Klien is certainly putting up a fight over Vettel here, and he covers the line well there as Vettel tried to passing back on the outside, and well, I can only imagine the reactions of the Red Bull pit wall at this stage. And Montoya now then back up into 14th place. He's looking at Vettel there, but he couldn't find a way through. Let's give him to later on in the lap then. Clean still holding on to that position, but Vettel will want to get past him and make it stick this time. And he's looking at the inside into the tight left-hander, and he's forcing Clean out wide a little bit. Clean was trying to fight back with Vettel back up, and he's into 12th place once again. And now he can try and get on the attack of those two BMW Saubers then, and skipping on to the next lap then, lap 3. And yeah, he's much closer to Heidfeld this time round, so should be a pass coming up pretty soon then. And Clean and Montoya is still pretty close behind, so it's an interesting midfield battle here then for, well, what could be one of the last points positions here. But out of the final corner we come then, and looks like Vettel's got a pretty good run out of here then. Not as good as Heidfeld doesn't look, but it might have the straight line speed here then. So they head down the pit straight, and Clean actually getting pretty close as well. So there's Montoya, but Vettel's got slipstream. He's looking at the inside. He locks up slightly, but he's up into 11th place then. And you can see Clean and Montoya were just waiting to pounce as well there. It's a really close battle this end for, well, from between about 10th and about 17th or 18th here then. So you see Massa and Fisichella back there as well, who needs to make some ground as well. But yeah, there were 4 cars that could have potentially been leading that little pack there into turn 1. It's Vettel who came out on top then. He skipped to the beginning of lap 5, and Vettel coming from quite a long way back here at Villeneuve. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to pull off the move though. And Villeneuve maintains place in through turn 1, but Vettel might try and go around the outside like he did on a Heidfeld last season, but it doesn't look like he's got anywhere near the confidence that he did last season, which is unusual because the Red Bull should be handling a lot better for him. But he's diving at the inside in turn 4, but no, Villeneuve hangs on again around the outside. So yeah, Vettel really not having an easy time of it today, and yeah, Villeneuve certainly putting up quite a fight here then. And of course he's got to be careful as well that, of course, there's faster cars behind him as well, would you believe. And yeah, it's going to be a tough afternoon for him if he's going to score points, but he's certainly made up some good ground so far, and he's got a good run here out of turn 8, I believe it is. And he thought about going to the outside, but then Villeneuve cut him off, so Vettel just looked to the inside line and said thank you very much. And up in 10th place, ran a bit wide there, but I don't think it was anything too serious there. And we see another replay of it then, and yeah, he certainly had a bit of a tough time passing Villeneuve there. I actually had a lock-up behind him, but yeah, he got the move done eventually. And skipping on to lap 7 now then, and there's another flag up ahead, and it's Rubens Barrichello then, who qualified 4th on the grid I believe, and he's out of the race in an engine failure it seems for that Honda engine. And yeah, that's another place to Vettel then, only 1 outside the points now then. And skipping on to the next lap then, and still fairly early in this race, but we've got 3 cars in the pits. It's Alonso, Webber and Raikkonen then, so that's pretty interesting. I think Webber was the closest one to Vettel, and you see Alonso there already coming out the pits, so he had a massive lead at this stage. But yeah, maybe a chance for Vettel to pass Webber then during his pit stop phase, because I think he was the closest. I think it's the 2 Williams and the Toyota he's battling with. Got a yellow flag up ahead though, so someone's heading off, and looks like another engine failure, and it's Jenson Button in the other Honda. So what a day they've had then. They qualified 2nd and 4th on the grid, and now both their cars are out in the space of 2 laps with engine failures. And well, there goes Button's Honda engine, and well, turn 3 at Catalunya, a Honda power car's gone off. Definite conspiracy going on there. But yeah, that's Button's race over then, and that's another place to Vettel then, who should theoretically be in the points then once the pit stop phase is over. And he had a chance of passing the 2 Williams as well, I think, in this stage, as he's heading around turn 3 then on his pin lap, and he's got some kind of problem here, and he's slowing down suddenly. And yeah, we're going past the scene of Button's engine failure, and he just doesn't seem to have any power. He looks like he's stuck in 4th gear. This is all very unusual. Is it a possible race ending problem here then? We haven't seen him have any technical problems so far in his career, but it looks like he seems to be stuck in gear at this stage. He could barely slow the car down there, but now it's suddenly back again. A very unusual problem there, which suddenly seems to have fixed itself once again. But Vettel's car was stuck in 4th gear for a space of about 2 corners there, and that's cost him about 7 seconds I believe. And yeah, very unusual there. You could see he was struggling to slow the car down without any engine braking, and then suddenly it just came back to him. For some reason he just couldn't select anything other than 4th gear, and yeah, that's really set him back a lot then in this pit stop phase, because yeah, I mean, well, he could have leapfrogged possibly Webber in that pit stop, but it's not going to happen now then with that lost time, and that is just a massive disappointment for him, because it looked like he could have gone in the points today. Then he may still have a chance, in fact, because of the two Hondas dropping out. But yeah, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult. He's been, like, he came from so far back on the grid as well, but now he just seems to have been knocked back again. It's a decent stop though, at least, so maybe all is not lost yet then, as he comes out of the pit speed behind Montoya, you see there in the McLaren. So yeah, it's really not looked like it's been a good time at all really for Vettel and the Red Bull team. And yeah, he's down in 15th. There's going to be a few more to pit, but it looks like his chance of points are sadly out the window then with that gearbox problem, I assume it was. But yeah, on the next lap we see quite a few cars coming in, including Fisichella and Massa here, so it's going to be close with them. And we see Massa there coming out of the pits behind Vettel, but it looks like Fisichella may just have this place done then. He's up to speed now, and yet into turn 1 he's just ahead of Vettel, so that's another big disappointment then, because that's another car that was behind Vettel that was a threat earlier on in the race that's now ahead of him. So yeah, points are looking less and less likely here, unfortunately, as Sato comes in. I think he's the last one to pit there, and now wow, Massa just driving clean past him. You have to wonder if there's a problem with that Red Bull after that weird glitch there on lap 10. But yeah, Massa through there and Vettel down to 11th place, and it just doesn't seem like the car is working for him properly today. Who knows? But yeah, he seems to have been struggling with the car a lot all weekend, and skipping another few laps though, and the day does get a little better as Fisichella there has an engine failure, but Vettel up into 10th place, and yeah, still, well, 11 seconds off the points here, as you see. So yeah, overall it was a rather disappointing weekend overall. Just didn't have the pace in qualifying. Could have possibly scored some points today in the race, but just it wasn't to be. A very unusual problem just before the pit stops seemed to put pay to that. So Vettel across the line then, he takes 10th place at Catalunya. So there are the final results then, and well, Michael Schumacher will certainly be he certainly caused an upset today then amongst the Spanish crowd, because Alonso looking very quick this weekend, but he has been beaten to the race victory by 2.3 seconds in the end then, and it was Kimi Räikkönen then who qualified only 7th, I believe, and ended up on the podium then, so a very good result for him. There's the two Toyotas who had a very good weekend, as did the two Williams cars there, both those teams getting both cars into the points then, so a very good day for them. Massa and Fisichella once again not scoring points then, although Fisichella didn't actually finish because of engine problems. But yeah, once again that's 5 races in a row now at the points for Felipe Massa, would you believe. Saw Vettel down there in 10th place, and there's the other Red Bull there of Christian Klien in 13th place then, who just didn't seem to have the pace then after some impressive battling early on in the race. Liuzzi in speed there, 14th, 15th for Toro Rosso, and yeah, all three of the teams at the back there managed to get their cars to the finish. But there you see 3 retirements there, 3 big name retirements then, with the 2 Hondas and Fisichella. But here's how today's points then make an impact on the championship, and Alonso still has the lead then just about over Michael Schumacher, but big gap is now only 1 point as we head to the Monaco Grand Prix, which is next, and Vettel now quite a long way off the championship standings. So at this stage it's starting to look pretty bleak for his championship hopes, but who knows, maybe there will be a chance coming soon for him to take some points off. I mean, still a long way to go, 12 races, so yeah, we're only a third of the way through the season, so plenty of time still to go for potential problems for other drivers. But yeah, in the constructors, and it's Ferrari took the most points then from Toyota, would you believe, and Renault still have their lead, and Ferrari have closed back up to McLaren then with that result, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be another close battle once again for second place in the championship. Red Bull still in 5th there, and it's the usual teams then that are still down at the bottom of the standings. So back in the motorhome then, after what was a rather frustrating weekend, but the Red Bull team, they didn't have anything to say about it, in fact, which is very unusual. But we're skipping time now then, and next up is the Monaco Grand Prix. Will it be glory again for Honda Racing? Well, they'll be certainly hoping for much better than they had this weekend. But yeah, that is it for this race. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, and whatever you do, do not miss the next race. Goodbye.